Hey guys, your boy Forward, and I'm back again with another episode of Forward Talks. And today we're going to be continuing with our previous topic on the idea of boredom and how boredom helps you as a creative. So I have my notes here. So obviously, the first video is always about the philosophy, and the second video is always about the steps to achieve that philosophy or to achieve that process. I don't know how to explain it, but basically, the next topic we're going to be going on is the steps you have to take in order for you to become creative through boredom. And it's easy for you to fall into that trap of becoming this performative, isolated kind of artist. So rather than being performative, it's better for you to actually become creative as opposed to cosplaying creativity or cosplaying boredom. So these are the steps that you have to take in order for you to change your mindset and become more bored, quote unquote, become more bored in order for you to become better creative. So guys, if you've been watching this video and you actually enjoy it, please just subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get to 100. Like 100 is kind of an easy thing, but I don't know why I've not gotten to that point yet. But I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, so please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time. But for real, if you're actually watching my videos, please leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to comment. Leave a comment, just say hi. Just say hi, share the video to whoever you think needs the video. Please. Thank you very much. I don't know what to do, but thank you very much. So number one is to reduce the noise, and this is probably one of the most obvious things I could have said in the first step. So in order for you to reduce the noise, you have to obviously take out all the distractions, take out all the things that are holding you down from actually allowing your mind to be quiet or quieting down your mind. So anything that constitutes as noise. Now we can think about all the negative noise that comes to being when you think about noise per se, and you can think about scrolling your phone, you can think about the brain rot content, you can think about the comedy videos that you're watching, how you scroll on TikTok, you can think about all these things, but those are not the only content that makes noise, or those are not the only things that constitute as noise. Sometimes even the positive and constructive kind of videos that you watch, maybe it's the podcast, maybe it's the music that you listen to, maybe it's just the documentaries on YouTube that you're watching, maybe it's just the motivational speech. Sometimes all these things constitute as noise. Why? Because they kind of stop your mind from creating its own ideas or making its own imaginations. They stop you from creating your own things and always end up giving you opinions and clouding your mind with its own opinions. Maybe whether it's a scientific podcast or whatever, you might just spend your time watching world news or even reading, and you feel like, oh, this is something I'm doing that's very constructive. But at the end of the day, once you do it long enough, it feels like you're kind of stopping yourself from being bored enough to work or being bored enough to create something. So your mind isn't at that point where you can actually create better. So what I would say, if you want to get to a point where you reduce your noise, number one, we take out the headphones at a certain time. I'm not saying that you should do it every time, I can't even do it every time, but take out the headphones, go to the toilet without your phone, go to the bathroom without music, try and take long showers without music, which is going to be hard obviously, but try and do these things. Try not to scroll your phone, try to keep your phone away from you when you're working, try not to be multitasking, try not to be overworking yourself or just putting too many things on your head when you're working. So that kind of helps you reduce that particular noise and reduce all the distractions that exist, whether it is going to be like anything that spikes up your dopamine, anything that spikes up your anxiety, anything that just makes you overthink or overlearn other people's opinion as opposed to yours. It's very important for you to quiet those things down. And the idea of that is to understand that boredom is almost like a doorway to leading you to your creativity. So you have to allow yourself be bored, whether it is at a scheduled time, whether it is at a particular period of time in the day. You don't have to do it all day, but for a certain time that you want to be creative, you have to allow yourself to be bored. Number two is to show up and sit in it. Now, everybody says show up every day, but to a large extent, showing up is not the problem. Sometimes sitting in the boredom is a problem. So maybe you have something that you want to achieve. Maybe you already have a creative venture. That's what I'm assuming in this particular part. So whether it is your music, whether it is your writing, whether it is your art or anything that takes your time, anything that requires you to be creative in some sense, you have to make out time for it and say, okay, this is when I'm going to show up to this particular work. But even when you show up, it is not enough for you to just sit on the table and all the ideas start to come. You have to almost work at it and keep on etching at it and keep on scratching at it before you actually reach a point where you might actually strike gold. So you have to keep on digging and digging and digging and working. You might not see anything, you might not see any reviews, you might not see any good work, you might not get to the flow state until you're able to walk through the pathway you hate. So in this part, you have to be able to do work enough, do a work long enough until you hate doing the work, and then do it for an hour or so more after you start to hate the work. So it's almost like doing your exercises, do it long enough until you start to get tired, and then do it for like 2-3 more reps before you actually stop doing the work. So once you show up, keep working. There's going to be a point where it feels like you're just doing random things and you're not actually working, you're not actually receiving anything. And then once you're able to continue working at something through that boredom, through that bored phase, then you can actually get to a point where you might hit your flow state. And that flow state is where your mind takes over the driving seat, and you're just creating beauty, you're just making something, and your body is not really like comprehending what is going on. Your mind is just taking over and you're just working, and your soul, your spirit is just doing the work. So that's where you have to be in order for you to be creative. You have to get to a point where you're working and working and working, and you don't really see any gold, and at a point you just strike gold, or you probably strike plastic. You don't you don't necessarily always have to strike gold. Some days it's not going to be exactly the shiny thing that you're expecting. Maybe something that is very obscure, but at the end of the day it's going to pay off one way or the other. So that's another thing. Number 3 thing that you have to do as a creative in order for you to enjoy the boredom to create better is to make consumption the reward. So make consuming your reward as opposed to the norm. So if you're going to be creating something, it's important for you to look at the work that you're creating and say, okay, I want to work so hard at this that at the end of the work that I'm doing, at the end of doing this particular work, I can reward myself by scrolling. I can reward myself with brain rot. I can reward myself with scrolling other people's content, listening to music, playing video games, anything, whatever it is that you consider brain rot, whatever it is that you consider a distraction. You might actually end up needing to use the distraction as a reward for your good work. Same way you need food to refuel, that's the same way you need consumption to refuel your mind. So if your mind has been on a constant brainstorming and you've been working at your mind and your mind has been exercising, laboring for you to create something good, then you need to, it deserves the reward at that time. You just can't, all work and no play makes like a dull boy. Yeah, so if you're going to get to a point where you work and you're not actually going to reward your mind with any form of play, that's going to be a problem. So make consumption the reward. Don't totally remove it, because then you're going to fall into a problem of burnout. Just make it the reward. Put some enjoyment in your life, but take a certain time to isolate yourself. That's all it is. It's not for you to do it every single day of your life, or every minute of your life you're going to be bored, or you take yourself and start staying in the middle of the sea or something like that. But take certain time to go to the middle of the sea or go on top of the mountain, and then come down and enjoy yourself, and then replenish yourself, and then go back up to the mountain. So that's basically what it is. Number 4 is to search and don't accept. Don't just accept, search, basically. So if you're the type that scrolls on your phone, you will understand that at a certain point in time, you get to a point where you are just taking every other person's opinions. You are hearing different news, you're taking different opinions, you are getting agitated about something that you heard that shouldn't even concern you. You're taking part, you're taking sides, you're learning rumors, you're passing rumors, you're giving comments on things that you shouldn't even be involved in the conversation in the first place. And so if you're going to be creative, you have to understand that You are not, it is not in your place to know every single thing. It is not in your place to scroll and learn every single information. Sometimes you have to know the information that you're searching for. And one thing that being bored does is that it sparks up your curiosity about certain things. So if you have curiosity, or if you ever become curious about something, it's easy for you to just go online and search on the things that you actually want to know about and get the full information about those particular things, as opposed to getting tiny informations about so many random things, which is still good. You still need to know a little about everything, but to a large extent, you need to know a lot about something. So get bored enough to constantly think about the same thing that you want to think about. Imagine things, think about things, get curious about things, and not just scrolling and answering questions that you didn't ask about in the first place. Ask your own questions and search for them. So that's going to help you to become better at understanding and better at research. Basically, you're going to get into that point of curiosity, reflection or self-reflection, deep thoughts, and you're going to get more ideas. You're going to get random ideas, and that's better for you, because then you can actually search those things. You can go to the library, you can read more books on that same topic, and that's going to help you. Number 5, not the least, last and not the least, number 5 and not the least, is to construct the scenery. So now you have to be like a director, like a creative director, constructing your own space. So your own creative space has to be something that feels like a ritual space. It feels like where you're giving sacrifices. Not necessarily, but you have to have specific things that you set up for your work. You have to have probably the same chair, use the same chair, use the same lighting, use the same at the same time, the exact same time, on the same hour of the day, with the same lights, frequency, whatever it is. Like, you just have to set up in the way that it feels like a ritual for you to do the same thing every single time. It tends to soothe your creative mindset. It tells you to soothe your creativity, and whenever you're in that space, it tends to spark up those creative ideas. So your mind knows that, okay, when I'm on this particular chair, when I'm in front of this desk, when I'm reading this book, when I have my phone away from me, when I have this away from me, when I have this particular maybe instrumental playing in the background, when I have this, when I have this, when I have this, that is when I have my creative being. When I have my coffee next to me, if you are the kind of person that is into coffee. So all these things are more or less your ritual. You might even spray a particular perfume just to have a smell to help you become more creative, just to remind yourself that you're supposed to be creative at that certain time. So that's very important. And also, you have to have things that actually you can use to capture or record your ideas. So whether it's your voice memo, whether it's your sketchpad, whether it's your notepad, whether it's your anything that you can just use to put down the ideas that you have, is very important. Even if you're using your phone and you're using the notes app on your phone, it will also be useful, because at the end of the day, you just have to be able to record the ideas that you have. Not everything is going to stick in your head for a long time, and these are your own mindset, these are your own ideas. So if you're not able to put these things down, they almost like evaporate and almost go to somebody else. So whenever you have an idea, always learn to put those things down, and once you put them down on paper, they're etched on the world. Like, this is your own idea, you put your own patent on it. So make sure to always do that. Create your space. So back to everything. So I just mentioned 5 of them. One of them is to remove the noise. Number 2 is to show up and sit in it. Number 3 is to make consumption the reward. Number 4 is to search and don't accept. Number 5 is to construct the scenery. So these steps are some things that you can take, or some steps that you can probably take to help yourself to become better at creating. So yeah, guys, I hope this video was useful to you in terms of helping you understand how to go about being bored in order for you to create. If it was, make sure to leave a like, maybe leave a comment on this topic, and it will be useful to me and it will be useful to the algorithm. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and yeah, leave a like, because it's going to be useful to me. Thank you very much for listening. I'm here for ID. Peace.